coming down. These two here is just as much as in it as I am. And so help me God, that's the truth. I don't drag any of them down. They want to come down and see you guys as much as I do
Oh,
more.
sure.
Well, God, we
All right.
watching too.
I'll be honest. I'll just be honest with you. It's
Well,
the
I
truth.
got news for you, Lonnie. We ain't gonna be around here too long.
I know we ain't.
And we
I
love to.
know we ain't.
We love
Don't
to-
just don't look talk about yourself. I know we
I
ain't.
said
Don't
we,
get down and see you.
but we love to see you anytime you can come.
I know.
Are you gonna come back down for my
Well, since I'm
birthday?
72, hell, I'm 68. In the hell, I'm just around the holler.
I said, I know that I ain't gonna get no better. I've got enough sense to know I'm gonna get worse from here on out, cause I'm 72 years old. And if one thing don't get me, old age sure will.
Well, Pearl, I ain't pity myself any, but I've had this leg ever since I was a baby.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know that.
And I put up with this, and
No, Lonnie, you was
stuff.
lucky there, honey. They didn't know what it's all about, and you, I think it's about a year before you could walk again. That was, you was lucky.
And I tell you what, I thank God and thank everything what I got,
When I went to the
and my
doctor,
kids and
blood
stuff that
pressure's
I've
all
got.
right.
I do.
You
I
had
do
a
thank
wonderful,
God for
had a
that.
wonderful life, Lonnie.
Yeah, but I've worked hard
July,
for
I've
it.
been
Oh,
going to
you
the
worked
doctor
hard
ever
for it,
since.
but you've enjoyed it.
I'll tell you.
July.
I tell you, I wouldn't.
for
I tell you, I
Yeah,
don't give
but you know,
another
I
one of my
told
kids for
Lonzo,
nothing in the
I
world.
said,
said, our
you
age,
enjoy it.
and we are having the doctor. If
It's
we
like
got
I
up
like my
one
brother and
morning,
sisters
didn't have
too,
a pain
by
I
in
love
our
you
Sure,
too.
and boy,
A lot of
I
them's
think
done
that-
things
boy,
to
I
me,
just
but that
hurt
don't make
baby.
me-
Yeah, right between my
That's
legs.
like me. I get aggravated at it. But
He
still
said
love
I
him.
be.
Could be.
I
But
sure
what
do.
my leg's supposed to be
But
from
that made my whole
other.
life.
I don't know.
See, Elaine thought that was
Yeah,
us
your
wrapping her
family,
hands
your
all
Yeah.
over it.
See, I was
I get
satisfied
that
with the three
sometime.
for a
You know, a
while
lot of women
till
did
this thing
say
come
that. I
along.
don't
She
know
come
why.
along.
Yeah.
You know, Sharon did, and
It-
Elaine, and
Nobody
Rosella,
expected.
Mhm.
Because the doctor
I don't
said
know,
she
your
couldn't
hands
have no
just
more and
might get
everything
like
else,
that
and she come in
sometimes.
and she made it all worthwhile.
You ain't
Not
know.
bad.
And
Oh,
after
honey,
these
I've
get
been
bigger
at
enough
that
that
for years.
little
They called
grandkids
They're
is taking
driving
over.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's
they
like
told me
Jennifer
the
and
doctor that
Billy
was
and
poor
all the rest of
Yeah,
circulation.
when Roxy
My
gets
hands,
married,
I've
she'll
had that
have
many
some
times.
little
I wake up in the
grandchildren.
night
When
and
I have
just
12,
rub
like
my
your
hands,
mom
you know,
did.
they.
Oh,
Yeah,
you are. You better get
I
started.
bet
Yeah.
you're right.
But it's the
God,
truth.
it scares me though.
That's
You
what makes
know,
Christian's life worth
Yeah.
living.
What if
Lonnie,
both
if you
of you
didn't
had
have
to get
them,
done
what
like that?
are you, what have you got to live for? That
Well,
makes
you
a
know,
lot of
Elaine's
sense.
gotta have both hers.
How old was Dad when
Yeah.
he got polio?
Honey, I think he started walking good. He must,
Somebody said
he was
that.
over a year,
Oh, so you were just a baby then.
Yeah, he used to run every place and run all
he was over a
around.
year old, and then all it
Something
was,
happened, he couldn't walk, and mother was worried to death.
and they said, you know, they didn't know about
Said
polio.
fever fell in his leg.
Yeah, fever fell in his leg. And sure enough, I don't know how long it was before he, and then he started walking all over again and done wonderful.
It probably was that. I mean,
So they didn't know for sure what it was.
Yeah, that's
No,
what
but we
they
know
They
now,
didn't
you know, it
know
was
about
polio.
No, honey,
See, they never
didn't
heard
know.
of it before, way back in
Used to
them
call
days down there.
infantile paralysis vaccine.
Yeah.
When it first came out.
So mother thought that fever fell in his leg. See, when he got to walking, he's a little over a year old, I guess, and he was running everywhere.
Mhm.
But then all at once, he just took him off. So.
These old doctors has them big names still. You don't know what they're talking about when they say.
See, there never
anything's
was
wrong
no
with you.
doctors down there.
Right.
That big name.
All
that green in my
what they
hand.
had was midwives.
Girl
Did
said,
they ever take him to the doctor or anything?
No.
Or they just
girl
was,
said her arms getting just like yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but mine, yeah, they give me
Them days.
So he
circulation
has to
pills.
rub them to.
And all, you know,
Oh,
They always
yeah.
go to sleep
I
on
think
the
I
bed.
cost
Well,
rather
that's what I say though. What a
Price
it
miss
scares
to
me.
me
What
for
a
the
book you had
midwife.
You went down there and interrupted
there
me.
was no doctors, midwife.
I take my foot and kick her and say, run me.
All of those kids was born midwife.
do you remember when
I
like
think
Uncle
they
Braden
ought
was
to give
born
you
or
probably
anything?
circulation pills.
Or
Of
Uncle
course, you're on
Johnny?
the go all the time, but I take them 3 times a day.
I remember, but it's been so long, honey, I don't know about they. See, after
What
mother
take me old
was
Vincent
killed,
down.
Brayton, he wasn't much over a year
I
old.
know what.
I was just
Talk
wondering
about
who came,
being
did
a-
like her sisters come down and help or you kids or
No,
or she just did it herself?
they had big
Oh,
families of their
Well,
own.
the guy over
So
Tommy
Dad had to try
Tommy
and take care
Adams
of
and
a
he
whole
shit and he
bunch.
told Charlie.
He tried to keep
Charlie
some.
treat me good.
He done the best he could, that's,
Car run over.
Yeah,
at least we
run over
wasn't putting a home and we know one another.
Down in the
We wasn't
Down in
separated. I mean, we
What happened?
really know
Nancy
one
Perkins
another.
run over Tommy
Did your man
Adams
die
and they
right when
shit
she got
himself and he
shot,
was
or-
telling Charlie to
Yeah,
clean him good.
She lived a little while. She
Oh,
lived a
shit.
little while.
Roxanne, I
She
let
died that
Dan
night.
and Pearls talk about some happy times.
What'd they say? I didn't hear what they
About
talking about.
Charles.
They're talking about
When Vincent run over Tommy
Over
Adams
Tommy
and shit
Adams.
himself.
You run with the car over his stomach and he
And
pooped
he's-
his face.
he still lives though.
Who ran over whose stomach with a car?
Well, some people, but they told Charles something.
Yeah, I told Charles to clean him good.
And we lived down Pinhook, that Vincent Perkins and Tommy Adams and that bunch was a drinking and old Vincent run over.
They used to have them bugs down there, them old turd bugs you call them, you know, they get in cow manure and they just roll them just around and Charles had a stick where it come out of a sucker and he went and stuck in one of them and wrapped it up. And oh, Dewey West said one of them little kids lost his sucker.
Did he unwrap it?
Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
So he knew what it was when he unwrapped it though? He didn't eat it, did he?
And no, he didn't
You have
unwrap
to unwrap it first. The
Yeah,
sucker's got that
he thought one of the
paper
kids had lost
I
the
lost
sucker.
the sucker. He picked it up over Dewey
off. But it's
West.
cow manure wrapped up in a ball. What it
Yeah,
was.
one of these turd bugs they call them.
Yeah.
Right.
And we lived in Kentucky, Mom always kept geese, and Holly, he was a pretty big boy, and there was a Morgan Howard, he used to
He
go
was our first cousin, wasn't he?
steal the goose eggs, you know. And Holly went and took that out, got the egg out, and then I took the grass out, and then he shit a big pile in there and covered it back over, and here come Morgan and crammed in there to get that egg. Come up with a handful of shit.
Morgan was our cousin, wasn't he,
Yes,
first?
they sell his boy.
That's terrible.
You think kids wasn't mean back then?
Boy, we used to climb willow trees and swing them down.
We didn't have nothing else to play with.
We was playing Tarzan now. Oh me, wild back in them hills.
Them was good old days. We didn't have
Yes, they was.
It was truth. That's the truth.
And
We
we
had
did.
our mother and our father, but we didn't know how lucky we was.
When we left in the morning, after breakfast and followed them cattle, day in, day out, we didn't have a care in the world.
Why not?
Just follow them.
I don't know to this day why a lot of us kids didn't get bit with copperheads and died.
Because, you know, copperheads bit the sheep in the back down
bit
there.
doors.
You know
And they
something?
all swell up.
Well, see, I got bit with one of them.
Yeah.
She
Ella
got-
was the baby, I guess, when Doris got bit.
Yeah, Mother took me and
Does that
Theo,
little-
you know, she nursed us all. And Doris was big enough to watch me. And, she went over to pick me some blackberries, and a copperhead bit her in the big toe. And Dad, I guess, cut place and sucked blood out back there. That saved her.
Blue racer or something.
So,
Scared me to death. I said, shit, I'm afraid to walk back there, big snake like that. I don't see why, I
We
guess.
all been
But your
through a
dad,
fight at
you know, we was
school, and
going
I
up
got
the-
sick, tried to miss
we was
school.
going up the
We all
deep
got
holler,
together
you
for
know, and
Charles.
he'd found a bird's nest, and he wanted to show it to me. And I said, okay, I'll wait, sure. And he went and climbed up, it's up hanging over a rock. See, all this deep holler, it was nothing but rock, but there's water running down it. And an old big black snake jumped out after him. He fell out. The black snake had done eat birds.
It hit me right in the forehead and I just come rolling. Right
Oh,
right
boy.
down the street.
I've seen big black snakes eat half-grown rabbits, have them in their old mouth.
They can.
Yeah.
They're not poison, are they? Or are
Black
they
snake
poison?
ain't supposed to be.
But Lonnie, you know, over there, we used to catch them old lizards and scorpions and up there, they'd lay eggs in the nest in the woods, and my God, you see them and you see them now where they're on these animals that there's poison and everything. Yeah, we played with.
I think honey them took every kind of scorpions. I
Must
suppose.
have been.
Yeah. Hell, them there, hell, we could do. They said the more scrappy ones was poison, you know.
Yeah, them striped ones, lizards was. and the others
The
was
scorpion.
I tell the boys,
That's
I
what we
said, it's hard
call
to
it.
believe I just lived up the road.
Yeah, we had
from
little
7
cat
up there.
spots all over, and we
Come
catch
here.
them,
Mhm.
feed them
And
to
we
the
find
cats.
their eggs where they lay.
Yeah.
Just find everywhere.
We are going way back in the
Never
river
know.
lake.
No, you
Yeah,
don't.
when you plow up a cornfield, you find snake eggs and lizard eggs
Yeah.
and everything, you know.
And where the hens laid in the blackberry bushes over there, the quails laid in with.
You didn't eat those snake eggs, did you?
No.
Why you eat everything up?
In all them years I lived
One-
in Albion.
One time talking about eggs, now this brought me to attention. You know, by the upper place, you know, we cleared out that new ground, pushed, clean out, cut them trees and all.
Yeah.
We stacked all that brush up around there.
Mhm.
Well, the doggone hens
Oh, I
Brenda,
remember moving.
up in there, and they laid eggs and underneath that.
Cool.
Boy, it makes me
Nobody
sick
knew
to
it.
think about moving now.
And
It's
set them
upset,
afire.
I don't
They
know.
said all them brush fire, and old Mondo found them eggs and all roasted.
Nice.
And boy, did we have a feast. We eat them eggs.
Well, you know.
Honest, we eat them eggs out under there.
When I
Do
needed
you
their
remember
good yard stuff,
our
I
rock
just
where
take
that big
everything
old
out.
rock cliff was and Dad fenced it in? Put there
Yeah.
for the upper place back there in
Yeah.
the field and put his cattle on it. I don't know how many he put in there. Fenced it in.
Yeah,
A
that-
great big old rock cave. I don't know how many cattle it held under there. See, he fenced the front end of it in. And
Kept my most
Her
of
son's
them.
got junk down there, I got some more stuff up there, she's got some place somehow.
some, I wish you could walk all over them places, rocks, and seen all that.
Yeah, I
You're
do
really-
Well, honey, she ought to have a yard
We've
sale
been
and
all
get rid
over
of it, because she ain't gonna,
Years ago, it was something.
honey, it's her boyfriend.
And they had the big old pine trees that we'd get these old big pine nuts, and you could light one of them, you know, and it'd burn. You could make your big light, and you'd just carry it and go through the woods. It'd last for I don't know how long. Yeah,
No, he's not good.
Oh, that's bad.
wonderful times, but we thought this rough for them days.
What about the time, which one of you girls from the, come from Hillsborough, and the police got after and shot holes in the back of that old Buick with them boys and run up
Oh,
and down
there's
the
me
house?
and Ann.
That was
You-
Mercer, the sheriff of Pike County.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's me and Ann. That was, Dad went and got us in with a Carter bunch.
They
That was a sheriff from Waverly.
Yeah,
that
old Mercer. Yeah.
What happened?
shot that tank back.
Yeah.
in that-
Yeah, and they pulled it up back to the house where we lived. He got away from, but they shot holes all through. Here, me and Ann, and Dad was in with the Carter.
Kingdom come.
And they run.
And Carter must have stole or been bootlegging or something. I don't know what he's into now. But anyhow, he shot that old, I think it's an old Model T or what, or something.
I think it's no.
Well,
one
it's-
like that.
So,
I don't know what it was. He run up.
oh, Edsel or old Buick one.
He run it up back to the place where we lived, and the
I
sheriff
think they
didn't
run in
find
the
it.
house and went upstairs
But we
and-
all could have been killed.
The sheriff was shooting at the car?
Yeah, the sheriff at Carter. See,
They said that about a month.
Dad got in with this Carter. He has been drinking. I don't know what the Carter done, Roxy. And me and Ann, which Dad took us along.
The little tools and the little crab trees and all that, they had some of them that come painted lipstick on.
Hey, it was lucky for you that the Crabtrees was there that day, old buddy. That's the one saved you.
Roxanne, what's funny, Aunt Ann went with the crab tree and so did I go with the crab tree.
Maybe it was the same crab tree.
With the crab.
Yeah, Ann went with Ray Crabtree. I went with two. Ann went with Tommy Guston. I went with
Well,
his brother.
how
I
did
can't
they,
think of his
Which ones them painted up?
And that was the Johnsons. That was the Johnson boy.
how did the
I
crab
wonder if
trees,
Cecil
what did
still
crab
living.
trees
He
do
had
for
a
you?
stroke.
She said,
No,
Oh, well, that's when
the
he-
story
That's-
behind this.
That's when he
See,
got that copperhead.
What happened? They took it clear back on the hill. It's down here to
And
what you call it, Pinhook, and Pearls there, and all took it back there to whole corn, clean the weeds out of it. Well, Charles and Mono and me, I guess, made it up. We wasn't going off. We were running that cellar and hide, and they know we ain't off. They'll bring an inspector, so we won't have to go off. When I went down there, I just laid my finger right in that copperhead's mouth. It bit me.
There's where your dad's fingers.
Yeah. And she carried me. How big I was? She carried me all the way off that hill. And that's just about damn
And
well
the,
high, baby.
and the crab trees happened to be there, and Dad got to him for them to take him to Peebles See, if that had been there, that poison went through him and killed your dad.
And then he stopped up old John Massey, he got a pint of whiskey and poured down, which the worst thing you could do.
That is right.
Before they got me there, then they just went down there.
So they had a car or a...
Yeah,
Yeah,
they was there to see us gals.
yep. You wouldn't be around today if you didn't have a car, I tell you
I
that.
can't understand to be there to see you gals when we was back there holding corn.
Well, they didn't know we was back there.
They just happened to be there, just have
Ann
paperwork.
wasn't back there with us. I guess she's
She is entertaining the crabtrees again.
Well,
Till you got there.
Yeah.
I got married that Crabtree. I told him I would, and then I told him I wouldn't.
Since Alani mentioned old John Massey, they had a party, you know, right, except he lived right up the hall. And he had whiskey, and they had a party and all ganged up there, and he got looped, and he was laying out in the yard. Old John Massey was all drunk, and the cattle eating all of his corn right around him. They cleaned his corn.
Hell, he couldn't get out.
He's full of corn, his whiskey, and the cattle was
old
eating
garage
it.
where old Guy Campbell used it, the old Ella kept a car in, it's still there.
Yeah, kept out a little Chevy in it. No, was it? Yeah, it was a little Chevy.
Yeah, I
in there.
think so.
And you know, Pearl mentioned him, you know, but his house over there, we had that dog go rain, you know. And he went above the house there and he started barking. Me and Mama would see what's in the brush pile. Here was this big 5-gallon brown jug in there full of moonshine.
Kept
Yeah,
whiskey
he was
there,
big there.
Yeah. And then old Mondo, we'd take a quart. He'd be going back there and fill it. We drink some of it. We bring it to the house, you know. Now that jug, boy, we about emptied that thing, that whole big 5-gallon
Well,
jug.
that was the best spring down there on the.
It's still there.
Well, that spring water is good.
Mm.
And Dad bootlegged whiskey, you know. Mercer searched his house. Somebody reported, I guess, with us kids there. And they, old Mercer come up and searched it, and there was a big jug, but there was nothing in it, so they couldn't have no evidence.
Elaine brought her a gallon of water.
Yeah, she don't. She carries her water with her.
Diane always does. And you know something, since we
You know about
changed our
all
water.
them barrels, that little
well,
place that Dad had
did
in there,
something to
all
pump.
that mashing, that
And
be
our
coming
water
there and
tastes
shut them
different,
all
but
to
that's
pieces,
not
you
it.
remember that?
When
Yeah.
our electric
But they
went out, we
didn't
got one
see
from
he had
Dallas
us
system.
kids. I guess that
And
saved
boy, you
him
know
some
something,
many times.
our water
Because the
just
state
tastes
have to
bad.
feed 'em all,
His
you
is
know.
Oh,
so
yeah.
clear in that.
Mhm.
And we, I don't know,
Hers
you
does.
remember the upper place there when
But
they
you
bought
oughta
all
freeze
them
her wine.
horses and these
Mhm.
revenue men is
Dang,
going
I
up
always
with their
freeze
holiday
her
and
wine
old
when she comes down.
Rob
She-
Johnson's
Yeah,
up in there
Elaine had
making,
her
supposed to be
jug of
making Dad's whiskey up in
Well,
Hill
they
of
say
Holly.
something.
Oh,
Well,
well,
she
yeah,
don't
really.
drink
And he
much
had that
water,
Winchester
though,
up there,
'cause
when she
that,
done beautiful horse
Well,
and
I'm
them.
surprised she didn't drink
going
no
up in
whiskey,
there,
you know. I thought she
And,
was
and,
down
and he
there.
brought
No, she
two
told
guys
me
out
all
there
her
and across the
cholesterol
horses
was
and that, and
too
he come back out of there.
Yeah, you know,
Did she
when
go
he
back
made
and have
Dad
the
bake
check
whiskey
again?
down
I
there.
don't know.
And when we lived there up for place, he wouldn't had doors and smoke, you know, and the revenue,
Maybe she
I
went
carried
back
out and hid,
and
She
still
could.
and the
not.
2 revenue men
See,
was
now this was,
watching.
I think,
So they got all of
September.
his
the
whiskey,
shop had a deal on
and
Moved the hospital in
they,
all
they
his
didn't
check
take
and
Dad
everything
in, they
out
let him
for
go,
$5.
on account of had
But he
whiskey,
wouldn't go,
and it
of
was
course.
darn good.
And
They didn't even,
then I
they
did.
kept,
But they went, that's when she found out.
But you know where
But I don't know if she ever went
that
back
Rob
or not.
Johnson ended
Maybe
up
she
at,
went back and still had it.
in Michigan, that, the stock
That's
branch.
just what she said.
is he up there
And she
now?
didn't drink.
He
but
was
very
in the
much
last
beer.
few years.
Oh,
But I
And he
said
killed
she
them
didn't
people
drink
down
much
there.
water
He
because
just
there
fled and
was
left
still
Kentucky, and
little water in
he
that
was
jug
over
when
the
she
stock
left.
branch.
Lonnie never drinks no water. All he drinks is
I
water
tell you,
he
that's
takes
something,
on
ain't it?
the pound.
Well, that old
And
doctor,
Roxanne don't either.
that old doctor of mine told me to make sure
I
I
do.
drink at least 8 glasses, 8 ounces
I
glasses
try
a
to.
day. That's why I
Everybody
keep it in
should.
that thing that Stacy got
Ella
me
May
for
wanted to
Christmas
go up
in there.
Molly Springs, but I don't think she could have drove up there, and I know I
64
couldn't have
ounce
walked.
jug, see, I put in there.
If you ever,
I'll
if she
let
wants to
have
do
a
all
glass
this
there, and
walking
every
down there,
time
she
I'm
ought,
thirsty,
her and John
but I
will take
drink, he told
go
me.
off and stay down there
He
a
said
week
there
or
was so
2
many
or a
elder
month and
people
If I had one of them,
dehydrated
punch
and didn't know it, you know.
Jeeps,
Four-wheel
four-wheel
drive.
Jeeps. Yeah, four-wheel drive. Well, Pearl was up there with Mondo, but I've never been up to the grave since we left out there. Me and Charlie, Dad got us a little pony when we was herding the cattle, and me and him was riding it and coming down for that, get that cemetery, come down the bank, both of us had dogs. We hadn't learned to ride. Oh, me,
I
sometimes.
remember them poor squirrels that Little gray squirrels, Dad was cutting timber there and he brought them to
Yeah,
house.
and we
We made
planted
that
them,
one
and
more
Dad
sold-
went and sold them to them old,
Yeah.
and shot them off in our house.
Yeah, in
He
that
sold
tree.
them to old cattlemen,
Yeah.
and they paid him so much for, Dad'd sell anything, I
And
think.
he, one of them was short, some of them were short.
Yeah, they was her pet, and Dad sold it. Dad'd sell anything
What
for
part of
money.
Indiana is where John,